Hello, welcome to the Pedestal Society. My name is Braille. I'm going to wait for a moment for everyone to get into the room from YouTube to Instagram. And today we're going to talk about men pursue, women choose, avoid losers, and time wasters. So I'm going to wait to get some confirmation either from Instagram or YouTube to make sure that you can hear me and you can see me. And then we're going to jump into this juicy topic today. If you are new here, welcome. Don't be scared. Go ahead and write something down in the comment, write something down in the chat. I love interacting with you all. I love connecting with you all. That's why I go live on my pages. Thank you for my inner circle and my pedestal wives. Thank you all for being here and supporting me. I appreciate you so much. You already know you all are my heart. Daisy B, hey girl, hey Joy, hey everyone. All right. I'm just going to wait. Just give me a little bit of confirmation that you can see and hear me before we jump into the topic in the conversation. Hey, Lillian. How's everyone doing? Hopefully, everyone is having a wonderful day. This is basically kickstarting, my vacation. And yes, on my vacation, I'm choosing to spend it with you all. I love having conversation with you all. I love, spending some time with you all just to connect and get to know where you are and knowing what you're doing and how you're spending your lovely Christmas vacation. Hopefully, it is lovely. Okay. Hey, Amanda. Hey, Ivanka. Hey, Kathy. Hello, ladies. Okay. One of the things that really pushed me to do this live stream today is that I feel like we need to go back to the basics, especially when I'm starting to see a lot of videos come out where women are proposing to men. That's very disturbing. And the reason it's disturbing because it goes against the natural order of things. When women allow men to pursue, you actually avoid time wasters and losers. So I want to ask this question. I think this is going to lay the foundation for us to jump in this conversation. What are men for? And I need you to write and answer that in your chat. I don't care if you're on Instagram, I don't care if you're on YouTube. What are men for? I'm going to give you some time to kind of write that in the chat because that's important for us to establish the foundation of men pursuing women and women choosing. And so while you're answering that question, one of the things I want you to realize is that if you allow a man to pursue, you actually avoid those losers and time wasters. When you allow what you see on social media to lower your self-worth and lower your standards, what happens is we have this dynamic happening right now. We have women pursuing men. We have women proposing to men. We have women stepping out of the natural order of things. And then they're encouraging other women to do the same when I've literally presented on this page alone the research behind what happens when a woman pursues a man. They did a research among men, and then when the men answered back, they said, if a woman pursued you and you married her, you stayed in a relationship, are you happy? The men said no. And when they talked to men who pursued the woman and they provided for the woman, protected the woman, the men responded back that they were happy. So there's research behind some of the things I'm talking about, not only from my own personal experience, also for psychology, also for biology. All of these add up to the natural order of things. There is a natural order of things. Basically, there's a science to love. There's a science to men pursuing and why women should be choosing. So I'm going to go ahead and read back some of the answers I'm getting from Instagram and YouTube. Protect, provide, build, sacrifice. To love, protect, provide, and cherish. And then let me get some from Instagram. Grab some there. Oh, thank you, Coco. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for watching. I appreciate that. Okay, I don't see any answers on Instagram for my question. If maybe Instagram didn't hear my question is, what are men for? And I think it's highly important that we establish what men are for. Because I don't think that women really understand what men are for. And since they don't understand what men are for, they are getting out of the natural order of things and they're pursuing men when even the men are like, we don't want that. Yes, there are some men. That's the minority, not the majority. See, we can't base our life off the minority. We have to base our life off the majority. This is how science is done. First the chase, and then anticipation and pleasure, then work for it. I don't know. Thank you, Amanda, for saying that. I appreciate you, love, because you know how hard it is to say you just don't know. Like I appreciate you for saying that because a lot of women don't really know. They don't know what men are for. And if you don't know what men are for, and you're in these spaces of social media and they're telling you, hey, he's supposed to be doing this, he's supposed to be doing that, and you really haven't made peace with yourself or did the work to understand men, to understand what they bring and what they add to your life, you don't know what men are for. Some people really do believe that men are just for pleasure. And some people believe that men are just for resources. Some people believe that men are just there. Some people believe that men are just evil. They don't know what men are for. And that is very concerning that we're getting to this time where women don't know what men are for. At one point, we understood what men were for. So hopefully today in this live stream, I'm going to be able to clear that up for you so you'll know what men are for. And see, the more that you know what men are for, the easier it is for you to avoid losers and time wasters. Because if they're not bringing things to you in the way that a man is, you'll recognize a male when a male is a male, and you'll recognize a man when a man is a man. Over here on YouTube, they're saying men exist to provide, to protect. They're meant to work and sacrifice so women can live in a safe environment. Here's another one for Instagram. They are there to protect and to provide for us. Men are, one, let's first establish that men are human. Because there's this mentality, this idea out here that men are evil and that they're these evil masterminds. First of all, men start out they start off as babies just like you. And babies require contact comfort, or they are damaged, or something happens to them overall. A baby literally can die from not having any comfort or any type of contact. Men still have the same issue as babies. So let me establish their humanity for you. They are still human. So they still have some of the same requirements as human beings. They may not display some of those things as you do because we are still different. We have different hormones. We have different mindsets. We have different bodies. We have different thinking. We're still different, but we are still human at the core. The foundation is still human. So let's go ahead and exit that out where you figure that men are these evil masterminds, these evil beings, these evil devils, and that they're not human. They are human. They just are not like you. And what men are for? Men are for fathering, for loving, for protecting, for leading, for fighting, for givers, for upholding the structure and society rules and laws of society. They're here for being producers. Men have multifaceted roles and things that they're supposed to accomplish and responsibilities in life. The thing is, we don't understand that burden that they carry. We can get so disillusioned by the men that you've encountered or the men that you have had relationships with that it wasn't very good. So we tend to forget what men are for. If you remember that men are supposed to be, one of the things that my grandmother gave me, and I think is so important to this conversation, she said that if you think of a man is supposed to stand between you and the burdens and the responsibility of life. A man stands between you and that. Not only is he your protector, he is also somewhat a shield to you. He's a shield to you. And since he's a shield to you, that shield requires some type of support. It requires some type of inspiration. It requires energy that, in essence, that only a woman can give. So hopefully that has cleared up a little bit of what man is for. Because a man, when you have to understand what a man is for, you will know the difference between what a male is and what a man is. And understanding that difference will help you to avoid time wasters and losers, because you'll realize that this man is not acting as a shield. Another good analogy, well, actually, it's a picture. I used to have this picture in my living room where a man, maybe some of you all have seen it because it's a very popular piece of artistic content, where a man was holding up a boulder. He's holding up the boulder, and behind him is the woman. And then behind her is the children. See, that is what men are for. Men literally stand between you and the burden of life. They are your shield. And since if you recognize what men are for, you should have some type of respect for the things that they are for. And this helps you also identify and make the difference between a male and a man. Because when a man comes along, There's a shield between you and the burden of life. There's a shield between you and people who want to hurt you. There's a shield between you and the responsibilities that would be only yours if he wasn't standing there. Literally, he's standing between you and danger. Men, that is what men are for. They have a heavy responsibility. And that's the reason why there's certain requirements and roles of women and what women are for. Because women inspire him to continue to hold up that boulder and stand between you and the burdens of life. He still continues to stand as your shield. Uh, and I wish I had that picture. I would show it for dramatic effect, just because it's important for women to understand what men are for. So when you have a male that comes in and he's unwilling to stand in between you and the burdens of life, or uphold any type of responsibility that will crush you if you were doing it by yourself. Not saying you can't hold the boulder up, but do you want to? Do you want to? Do you desire to hold the boulder up? Do you desire to be your only shield between you and life and the burdens that come with it? That is what men are for. Even when it comes down to our protection, even if they're not protecting you personally, or if you don't have, like, let's say you're not with anyone, you're single, men are still protecting you on a whole nother level because they're upholding societal laws and structures. Do you know that majority of police officers are men? Men make up 86% of the police officers. They're policing society structures and laws and keeping that. When you are in trouble, if you're a single woman, who are you calling if you don't have any family? You're calling a police officer. This is what men are for. This is what men do. They uphold the structures and laws and responsibilities of society to keep it moving forward. That is why it's so important that women start to recognize what men are for and avoid losers and time wasters if they're not willing to step into that place. So hopefully that cleared up some of the confusion when it comes to what men are for and what they have come to do and what they come to add value to you into your world. So when a man comes to you and he is refusing to be that shield, he's refusing to be that protection, he's refusing to be that provider, he's refusing to be a producer, then you know you're dealing with a male. You're not dealing with a man. You're dealing with a male who has been living in this modern society where he's gotten a lot of support and he's been propped up to look as though he's a man, but he's truly a male. This will help you avoid having children, having family with them. It'll help you avoid dealing with a man who refuses to produce or refuses to protect or refuses to shield, because he is your shield. That is the reason why his body is bigger. That is the reason why he has muscles. That is the reason why he's faster. That's the reason why he can breathe deeper. He has all of this functionality in his physical body just because he is your shield. And if he isn't becoming into your life to be your shield, then you know he isn't your man. Let me know if I'm helping you all clear that up. Because if you understand what men are for and what they have come to do, then you can understand. It'll help you avoid the losers and time wasters who want to be man because they have the genitals or because they were born as that gender, but they aren't men. You need to be able to separate the males from the men. And when you're able to do that, that helps you to be able to recognize a man when a man shows up. Recognizing when a man shows up is so important, because I want you to always imagine him holding up the responsibility, that boulder. Literally in that picture, that painting, if the man drops that boulder, it's going to crush the family. It's going to crush the woman. It's going to crush the children. And it's a good picture. Like, I hate the fact that I lost it. I hate the fact that, like, I think when we moved into this house, it had gotten torn when the movers moved everything. And so I don't have the picture to show you. I wish I did. I would show it to you. It would explain everything for what men are for. But hopefully I'm doing a good enough job to give you what men are for. So if he drops a boulder, it crushes the entire family. There's not even a way for them to actually live if that boulder drops on them, because the boulder is like 4 or 5 times bigger than a man. But his muscles, he's holding that boulder up. And she's leaning into him because she knows that he's going to shield her. She's leaning into him, trust. She's not saying, oh, let me go and run away. She wasn't running away. She's leaning into him because she knows that he's going to protect her from that boulder falling down. Now that is a man. That is what man has come to do. That is what man is for. If men weren't creating the societal laws and making sure that they're enforced, it would be the wild, wild west out here. And men wouldn't mind that. They wouldn't mind being able to shoot it out in the streets. But they've created a structure and created societal laws and norms so that women, and children can be safe and live in a safe environment and raise children and feel secure within it. That is what men are for. And when a man comes, well, if a male comes into your life and he's not even giving you a tenth of what that looks like, he is a loser. He is wasting your time. If you know that he's going to put so much on your back that instead of him holding that boulder, you will be holding it. You will be upholding the house structure. You'll be upholding the bills. Now, someone would say, I'm good with that. Okay. There are some women who have a lot of testosterone in their body that they don't mind doing it, but that's still not normal. That is not the norm. That is not of the natural order. And since it's not of the natural order, it people are not going to believe that she can do that. But if she's good with it, I'm good with it. I'm one of those women. If you want to live your life that way, go and be married, go and be happy. But I'm just talking about natural order of things. I'm talking about what men is for and what men have come to do and what they are meant to do. And if you run into them and they're not doing that thing, this means that he is not a man. He's a male. Men do not get the title and responsibility of upholding that rock, that thing that can crush you in the family without going through a series of transformation and changes and upgrading his life and earning the title of man. At one time, we knew this. At one time, men could not call themselves men without tests. They could not call themselves men without going through a series of tests to pass the test to become a man. Now we've removed all of that in this modern world. And honestly, I feel like we should be going back to it to a certain degree because it worked then, it'll work now. But this is the reason why we're starting to see an uptick in women becoming breadwinners. We're starting to see an uptick in men not working anymore. I literally posted on my Instagram where 7.2 million men are not a part of the workforce. Why do you think that is? We have the natural order is still not in order. A lot of women have stepped aside from the natural order and they're trying something new. The thing is, we do not have any data, no science to back up this new thing that you're doing. And without any type of up level in our DNA and social conditioning, that thing will not work. So until there've been generations and generations of up leveling DNA and conditioning us to be able to act and react different and get out of the natural order, we should be trying to change the natural order because it won't work right now. It just won't work right now. So what works is what we've seen work, the natural order of things. We've seen men pursue. Men pursue, women choose. And so let me tell you this. And me saying this doesn't mean that I agree with any of these things. Okay. But when all these platforms popping up and they're trying to talk you out of your position, so many platforms for men and women trying to talk you out of your position, trying to talk about your age, talk about your body count, talk about things that doesn't mean that you can't choose. It may mean that you may have to do a little bit more work. You may have to heal some things. You may have to get a therapist. You may have to do the inner work. You may have to do some things to get beyond those things so that you can get more of a high quality person. But it does not mean that your choice has been taken. Regardless if you have kids and outside of wedlock, regardless if you have a high body count, regardless if you are over 35, regardless if you're too masculine, the natural order is still the natural order. Don't let people talk you out of your position. Maybe those things are going on and you may have to have a different strategy. You may have to do things differently, but don't let these platforms talk you out of your position, talk you out of natural order of things, talk you out of having a man as a shield in your life. Don't let them talk you out of that. Don't let them talk you out of position of choosing, because when a woman When women stop choosing based off these things and thinking that they're not good enough or they're not worthy, what happened? You give access to the wrong men. Instead of you giving access to men, you give access to males. And those males have not been conditioned. They have not been through the test. They haven't done anything to earn the title of man. So you want to be very careful about taking that away just because she made a mistake or she made a past mistake. I'm going to tell you that you didn't know what you didn't know. You can't change what you didn't know. I'm all about moving forward. I don't condemn people for their past. I don't condemn people for what they didn't know. Like if you come to my space, you come, whatever you did, you leave that behind and we go forward with new information. We go forward with new solutions. We go forward with a new way of doing, a new way of being. That is what we do. But don't let people talk you out of your position. The natural order is the natural order. Like those things don't change the natural order. Those things may change what you have to work on, or if you have to do some inner work, or if you have to get a therapist, or you have to kind of, do some introspection, but it does not change the natural order. The natural order still works. The natural order is still valid. So don't let them play you out your position by planting things in your head to make you feel as though you're not worthy because you made a mistake in the past. You cannot help what you did not know. Like you cannot go back and change the past. If there was a way to change the past, I don't even know what I would change. I honestly don't have any regrets. Okay. There's nothing, I mean, maybe starting earlier on social media, like not waiting so long when I got the call or the feeling that resonated with me about doing social media. Maybe I would do it earlier. That's the only thing I can really think of because the choices I made are the choices I made. I made them based off the information I had. I'm never going to condemn myself for what I didn't know, and you shouldn't either. Remember, the natural order still stands regardless if you made a mistake. I don't care what people are saying out here. I don't care man, woman. I don't care what type of platforms you're following. If they tell you that you don't deserve to have a man that's going to do these things because you made a mistake in the past, you tell them you didn't know what you didn't know, and you still deserve the natural order of things because the natural order is the natural order. Okay? But men, if you recognize and you understand what men are for, this will help you avoid losers and time wasters and men who refuse to be a shield for you. It doesn't matter if those, about that painting that really stood out to me, I don't know if that was his kids. That painting could have been about a woman who met a man and he became a stepfather and he decided to be a shield and hold up that boulder for her. We don't know because when it comes to art, the beauty of art is all to interpretation. I can look at that art and say it could have been his stepchildren that he was protecting. I don't know. That's the reason why you don't let people talk you out of your position in the natural order of things. And so when a male comes in your life and you can't even imagine him holding up that boulder for you, you can't even imagine him protecting you. You can't even imagine him providing for you. You can't even imagine him being a producer. You can't even imagine him doing the things to shield you from the burdens and the responsibilities of life. Then let that man go. Let that man go. Always come back and remember what men are truly for. When you understand what men are truly for, and yes, men can love. I know y'all want to believe they can't love because it'd be easier. It would be absolutely easier to believe that men cannot love a woman. Because if you believe that, then everything kind of makes sense with your relationships and the way it didn't go right and what went wrong. But since I gave you the example of going back to babies, regardless if it is a boy child or a girl child, they still require contact comfort. Human nature is requiring love and care. And that's at the human part of us, regardless of the gender part of us. So men may not love like us. They don't look at love like we do. We look at love in a Disney way, in a more romantic way. We look at love in that way. When men look at love of let me go and make sure that there's money in the bank. Let me go and work hard so that she has a roof over here. Let me go and make sure there's food on the table. Let me go and make sure that I am providing, protecting, and I'm doing the best that I can to make sure that she is thriving. Let me go and make sure that I am the shield between her and life. Let me go and make sure that she is not being crushed by the responsibility of life. Men are all about action. It's in their action that they love. So understand the difference. I'm not saying you cannot be conditioned to see love in that manner, but men, when they're really in that natural order, this is where they drop the ball at. They drop the ball at recognize that women view love as in a romantic way. And since they view love in a romantic way, they drop the ball at giving the chocolates and bringing home flowers and just saying, I love you. But some of them refuse to say that because they know it. It's like, I know I love her. That's the reason why I'm willing to break my back down. I know I love her. That's the reason why I'm willing to stand between her and a bullet. I know I love her. That's the reason why I'm willing to die first so that they can live. Men love differently, but they still can love. They just need to pick up the ideas of romantic love. It's going to actually bring in that healthy divine union. They need to be conditioned and taught that. Okay, because most men, the men that I've been around, even I realize it, they don't realize they need to do more. They don't realize they need to do more. They don't realize they need to bring in the chocolates and take her on luxury vacations and bring her gifts just unexpected. They don't understand that. This reason I say y'all have to recognize when you are dealing with a man or a male. Like, you know what males do when they realize that they cannot shield you from the responsibilities of life? They bring you chocolates. They do all these little cutesy things. And you're like, oh my gosh, I'm in love. You're in love now because he's speaking to you in your language. But he's doing that because he doesn't have anything to offer you. He can't be a shield for you. If he was to lift the boulder for you, it would crush him. He has nothing to offer you. The men that can offer you something, they they haven't been conditioned. They haven't been conditioned. They haven't caught up with the times of romantic love and how to display that and speak her language. And trust me, I have so many masculine men in my family that even I have to say, go get her some candy, go get her some flowers. She's gonna appreciate that. She's gonna be all over you just because you're speaking her language. So this is the reason why I don't want you to throw a man away for a male. I don't want you to throw a man away for a male. A male will seem appealing because he doesn't have anything for you. He doesn't have anything to offer you. As soon as he takes on the responsibilities and the burdens of life, it's going to crush him because he doesn't have what it takes. He hasn't been proven. He hasn't been tested. Modern men are being tested. They're not being tested in the way of our forefathers, in the way of the past. Like back in tribal days, when there was a test, they literally left male children out in the woods. And in order for that male child to come back, he had to show that he could survive on his own. Then he came back and he got the title of a man. And that started about 12 years old. Now is the basis of a male becoming a man is based off the resources that he has and if he's been able to build himself into a success. But honestly, that isn't enough. That isn't enough. And that's the reason why this is so tricky. And that's the reason why I want to establish the foundation of what men are for. Because it's easy to see a male have some semblance of success, but does he have integrity? Does he have values? How is he willing to hold up that boulder to the end of your life to make sure that he sacrificed himself? See, there's a little bit more than resources to make a man. There's tons of males with resources. They have success also. They just can't stand up to be your shield. And you want the man who's willing to be your shield, and you want him to also be able to provide and to protect and to sacrifice and to love and to cherish. He has to be able to have this full dynamic of being a man. But you have to recognize him for what he is and not get don't be persuaded away from what a man is versus what a male is. Okay, so I'm gonna stop talking. I'm gonna go ahead and let anybody you have a comment you want to drop in the chat. But I'm gonna stop talking for a second, and I want to hear back from you all. If you didn't get a chance to answer the question, I dropped the question. I asked, what are men for? But it's important that we recognize them, recognize a man for what he is. When we understand what he's for, I guarantee you, you're going to avoid losers. You're not going to waste your time with a loser anymore because you're going to know what a man is for. And that is the foundation. When you understand what a man has come to do and what value he adds to your life, and him being a shield for you, you cannot honestly waste your time with the male ever again. You would never want to waste your time with the male because you know he would never be able to stand holding that boulder of life and responsibility for you so that you're not crushed under it. All right, so do we have any other questions before we jump into what it looks like when a man pursues? Anything you want to add to the conversation? Because it's important that we understand the natural order. Understanding natural order in its entirety is going to help you to avoid those losers. Because yes, there are some losers out here. And your job as women is to avoid the losers. Because if you don't avoid the losers, the boulder has a possibility of crushing you. Not saying that you can't do it. We know we can do a lot of things, but should we? When a man, since I don't see any questions from Instagram or YouTube, when a man pursues a woman, he makes those first interactions. I came across his blog. This blog was so interesting, y'all. I think it was a blog ran by a pickup artist. And one of the things that he was talking about in his blog post was that women still choose. Even if you learn all his tips and all things he's teaching men to pick up a woman still chooses. He was talking about he sent out maybe 100 messages a day, and he still only got a response back of 10. He said, no matter what skill or how skilled he is, a woman still chooses. Even though there's another conversation being had that women are not choosing, that women shouldn't choose, that they're lost their right to choose. But this is the natural order of things. So regardless, with men who are saying that they have the skill, that they pick up a lot of women, they interact with a lot of women, they're still letting us know that women still choose. Is it a form of not shielding if a man says he doesn't want to discuss or deal with an issue that involves his mom hurting you, or does it fall under a different category? That falls under a different category because this is off subject, but thank you, Cammy, for this question because this is a good question. First of all, I think women don't understand that when you come into a man's life, the first person that has a lot of influence, unless the relationship is broken, is a mom. And you have to be very delicate in the way that you deal with that situation because it can backfire on you. The more you talk about what she's doing to you, the more he's going to be confused about who he should side with. So you have to be very careful. If you're a woman and your mother-in-law doesn't like you, or maybe your boyfriend's mom doesn't like you, your best bet is not to go to him to complain about her. Your best bet is to allow him to see this and to act hurt. And I know some people will say this is manipulation. It is not manipulation. It is because there's a confusion right now because he has such a connection and his mom has such influence over him that he doesn't know where his loyalty lies right now. And eventually he needs to see his mom as the person who's starting these issues. You need to be like the sweet girlfriend, the sweet wife. And I know it may seem counterproductive in the very beginning. You may get frustrated with this, but it works. You be sweet, you be nice, and then you can literally go home and be like, why don't they like me? And cry. And I guarantee you, he's gonna start to pay attention to what his mom and his family members are doing to you, and then his loyalty is gonna side with you. Only time this changes, if I would say that a man's loyalty should immediately be with you if you're the wife. If you're the wife, the man's loyalty should be immediately be with you. But we already know that since the wife, he's known the mother longer. So she has influence. Like y'all just gotta realize even if he's married, she has influence over him right now. He knows he knows you long enough. And that's what it is. So you're gonna have to basically play the game until he recognizes where his loyalty lies if he doesn't immediately side with you. All right. but that's what you're going to need to do. Done been there, done that. Done been there, done that. And it wasn't with the mother-in-law. It's just with some other people in the family. Men are to produce and build, provide, protect, and have a vision that others follow. Absolutely. Thank you for that addition. Because I didn't even talk about the vision. That's absolutely correct. But you have to, when it comes to men pursuing a woman, the interaction, he needs to start the interaction with you. You have to stop pursuing him just because he's cute, just because you like him, just because you feel like, oh, he's my guy or my person. Let a man start the interaction with you. Men will continue to pursue even after marriage. They understand that they are still required to pursue. That's the reason why I talked about in the last video that you have to give them something to pursue. You have to give them that space to pursue. He will contact you when he's making those dating plans. You shouldn't be contacting him. If a man makes a date with you and he doesn't even follow up with you 24 hours before the date, then you should just assume that the date isn't going to happen. Because if you shouldn't have to be constantly texting or calling him to find out, are we still going on a date? Are we still going on a date? Like, we have to realize there's certain feminine principles. I've been teaching these feminine principles on this page because you want to stay in that natural order. You want to allow a man to pursue you. So the first rule of the feminine principle is we do not beg, pursue attention from a man. We do not beg, pursue time from a man. We do not beg, pursue sex from a man. If you can keep to those feminine principles, it will help you not to reverse the thing and start from pursuing him. Men who are pursuing you and are interested in you, they will try or attempt to touch you, but not in the very beginning, not in a very overly sexual way. I've talked about if a man comes on very strong and very sexual, that you need to really realize that this man is really not interested in what you're interested in. But just because a man is attracted to you and he sexually wants to get with you, he will still kind of tiptoe around you so he doesn't scare you away. So he'll even be scared to kind of touch you, but he will want to touch you, but he'll be kind of scared to kind of touch you because he doesn't want to scare you away. He doesn't want you to be like, oh my gosh, he wants just his ex. Even though in the very beginning, what did I tell you all? You are the cookie. You're the cookie until you're a woman. So men pursue. They pursue you. You don't pursue him. Men that are pursuing, they listen to you. They want to get to know you. They want to figure out who you are as a woman. They will listen. Men are good about listening. That's how they figure out very quickly on that this woman, if I say certain things to her, then I can possibly get her in the bed on the first date. Or if I say this to her, maybe then I can get her to do something she normally wouldn't do. So men do listen. This is a part of them pursuing. Men are protective. They're protective. That's where coming walking. Remember that they always talk about the fact that when a man walks towards traffic and he puts you on the inside, that's another way to protect you. Men are very protective. They're literally. I've had my husband, no matter where we are, he kind of guides me out of the way of danger. Like he'll put his hand on your lower back and he kind of guides you out of danger. Like men are very protective. His eyes is always on you to make sure that, especially if you're with him, one of his things is trying to shield you from from danger and keeping you protected. So he'll kind of guide you out of the way of danger. I've been in the grocery store before, and he'll just put his hand on the bottom of my back and guide me out of the way of maybe someone walking into me, or maybe someone possibly run into me with their car. He does it all the time. And he does it unconsciously because men are meant to protect. When men are pursuing you, men have interest in you. The thing women have to realize, for men, having sexual interest in a woman is not just wanting to touch and dirty you up, because that's part of it. But they also want to work for you. Men want to work for you. They want to build. They want to create a space for you so that you can have safety and security. They want to make sure that your life is better and add value to it. That's the reason why you have to just discern between the two, which is a man and which is a male. And I know it's not easy. That's the reason why I do the videos that I do. That's the reason why I talk about what I talk about. Because I want you to be a pickup for something I'm telling you or talking about that may help you be able to discern that if you're dealing with a male or a man. I love men like that. Absolutely. Absolutely. I love it. I love it. I'm open to receiving it. Because that's something that we have to do as women. We have to be open to receiving the protection. Like, because what I could do is when he puts his hand at the bottom of my back and guides me out the way, I can say, why are you touching me? Why are you moving me? I saw that. No, I graciously just lean into it and just trust that he's going to guide me to safety. I don't go against him and start screaming at him, yelling at him. You have to be willing to receive these things also. That's the reason why feminine energy is so important. That's the reason why learning and becoming embodied in feminine energy is so important. So instead of you bucking at his protection, you're receiving it. You allow him to guide you out of danger. You allow him to hold that boulder so that it doesn't crush you. You're allowing him to stand and be a shield. Some people say that even when, let's not get caught up in wording because some people are just too literal. Don't get caught up in wording because allowing might not be the right word. Just letting it happen. Surrendering is probably the better wording. So don't get caught up in wording. Just get the understanding so you'll understand if a man is a man and not a male. What about the men who have no idea and we're not raised like this? Babe, if he has no idea, he can't be yours. Y'all have to realize men still, in order for a man to become a man, he still has to go through the test. He still has to prove himself. If he has no idea, he is nowhere ready to even protect you or shield you from anything because he doesn't know how to do it for himself. Men have to know how to do it for themselves so they can even extend that to you. And being raised like that, y'all know sometimes this harshness come out that y'all don't like in me, but I'm gonna have to tell you, being raised like anything is not an excuse for anything. You know why? Because after a certain age, it is your responsibility to learn what you don't know. So even if he wasn't raised like that, if he is determined to be a man, then he's determined to do what it takes to be a man. He's determined to experience what it takes to become the man that he deserves and wants to be. So being raised like that is not an excuse, not a good one. Recently, I told my husband I need space and didn't want to talk about it. I want him to be more confident and consistent in pursuing me because normally he isn't, and it makes me confused. Any advice? Uh, is there something missing, babe? Is there something missing? Because you say you want to be confident and consistent. What do you mean consistent in pursuing me? What do you want him to do? Because that's the only way I'm going to be able to help. Also, with the internet, if he had no idea, that's his fault, and I wouldn't even waste my time. Yeah, like don't waste your time. Men are men. Like one of the things that helped me realize that my husband is a man is because when we having a conversation, and I was talking, we started talking about childhood, and then he talked about his childhood, and he talked about the grit and his responsibility, and he talked about how he had to go through things. You want to hear the story of grit. You want to hear the story of resilience because that is the stepping stone, somewhat of the foundation for a man to go from male to man is resilience and grit. For him getting through things and overcoming things and building for himself and becoming a man that he wants to become. He said out his mouth, he said, I literally looked at some of the men and I didn't want to be them. I wanted to be better. And that just like ding, 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 I lit all the way up. Like I was on fire. He could see me from a distance probably because I could hear it. I recognize, and there's certain parts of you all recognize when you're dealing with a man. The thing is, a lot of us have been disconnected from our feminine energy, so we don't recognize our counterpart. We don't recognize our complement because you should light up when you're around a man. You should feel in your gut that you're around a man. But we have been conditioned out of that. So we're not connected as we should be. We're not intuitive as we should be. So we don't really light up. We get deceived about what's of the world instead of what we're truly feeling. He talked about his grit, he talked about his resilience, he talked about the things he's been through, he talked about the things he overcame. I was like, ding, 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 I have me a man. There's a man in the house. A male doesn't have the stories of resilience or grit. He has the excuses. And as a woman, we shouldn't be open to excuses when our livelihood, our life is in danger when we put it in the hands of a male. Excuses should not be acceptable. You know what a man brings? A man doesn't bring excuses, he brings us solutions. Before even my husband brings a problem, he tells me the solution to the problem because he's always trying to be that shield to protect me from the burden of life. Literally, he tells me, hey, I don't really want to burden you. So he goes and he burdens men and not me. I always say if you got a job and learn how to do that job, there's no excuse for him not to learn how to take care of you. Yes, absolutely. And I think I have so many new followers. Y'all don't know how long I've been married. I've been married for 23 years. And my husband was a man at 21. So it's not about age either. Dating a provider man, and he wants to get a new job before proposing because he knows I want to homeschool our children. You saw it from Fortune 500, currently the associate pastor. Yellow flag. Okay, so what kind of job is he trying to do? Is he going towards that thing that's going to better your life overall? Like, what is this new job going to do for you overall? Because he says that he knows that you want to homeschool the children. So I'm assuming finances should be in the play. He's considering that. Or is he? Is he considering finances? What's the job that he's trying to transfer over to? We don't have kids yet. To me, it sounds like a planner, babe. Like he's looking ahead in the future. He sounds like he has a plan, a vision for life. So that's a good thing. So I'm trying to figure out what's the yellow flag. What's the yellow flag that what's the issue? What's really throwing you off about the situation? Because there's something, or you wouldn't be asking that question. What's the thing? But it sounds like he's planning, unless the job is going to be less the money and it's not going to be able to take care of a family, then it wouldn't make sense. But if it's going to be more money and it's going to take care of the family, he's doing exactly what he's setting the lifestyle up for. And I wouldn't see a yellow flag. That's actually a green flag that he's doing these things and getting you set up to be a stay-at-home mother and wife and homeschool your children. So what do you feel uneasy about? Because there's something. But men pursue women. You have the right to still choose. Do not think because you made so many mistakes in the past that you don't qualify to be able to get a high quality man. You can. Now, will it maybe require some type of strategy or inner work? Yes, it may require all of that. Be willing to do the work so you can get the things that you want. Because you want to have the natural order of things in your life. You want to have the man being the shield and being the soldier, the worker. That's what he's designed, what he's been designed to be. My sister said she was seeing a guy who was saying everything right, but she felt something was wrong and stopped talking to him. I told her about the guy you passed on who ended up being a criminal. Absolutely. That's why I was asking. I said maybe it's something like your intuition is valuable. What is making you uneasy? That you have to pay attention to it. You have to pay attention to your intuition. It saved my bacon plenty of times. My intuition has saved my bacon. I don't even know how many times. But that's the reason why it's so important that we reconnect with the feminine. When you reconnect with the feminine, you become more intuitive. It helps you make those choices and decisions that need to be made. But men pursue, women choose. Understanding what men are for will help you to avoid losers and time wasters. then no more will you spend time with males. Let males do what is needed. Let males to go through the testing and proving and earning to get that title of man. Every man is not truly a man. Every man is already a male, but they're not all truly man until they've gone through the things that's going to give him that title. They have to earn it. Even if, and they have to earn it. And I think I should clarify how to earn it because that'll help you also avoid losers and time wasters. Men have to qualify themselves, not just with success. They have to qualify themselves with integrity, with values, with their standards, with a vision, with a purpose. There's no reason. Usually, when you get around a man who doesn't have an idea where he's going, it's a male. He hasn't sat down and taken the time to think about where he's going in life and what he envisions his life being. He hasn't put anything in place so that can happen. A dream is a dream, and a dream is dead of a dream. And that is what a male tends to live in. He's living in a dream. But a man is living in reality. He has a purpose, he has a vision, he has directions on getting and making that vision become reality. So you want him to have a plan. A man has a plan. He has values that he stands on. He has overcome and he's very resilient. Not only does he have the muscles and the ability to shield you from the responsibilities and burdens of life, he has the ability to be of information and a source for guidance. But a man is a man, and you have to be able to recognize what a man is for and recognize when you have a man versus a male. They look alike, but they are not alike. And the way that they live their life is the way you're going to be able to determine if this is a man. A man is focused on his vision, on his purpose. He's focused on creating and building for the wife and children that are to come. He's already doing it, and he's not doing it when you arrive. He's already doing it now. When you recognize the difference, you won't be taken in by a loser or a con artist. You won't be taken in by a time waster. Look at what that man is currently, presently doing. Is he adding value for himself in his own current reality that he's created? Is he adding or has any type of purpose or vision? Does he have any type of direction? A male will lead you anywhere and nowhere at the same time. A man, there's a GPS in his hand, and he's like, let's go this way. He has direction. And you can see that by the things he's creating in his own life. His life, stepping in his life, is stepping into one of stability and a firm foundation. But when you're dealing with a male, there's excuses, there's chaos, everything is topsy-turvy, everything is upside down. And when a woman steps into that, she should be able to recognize that this is not a man. Is allowing the only way to validate pursuit and encourage him to pursue more. Is allowing the only way to validate pursuit and encourage him to pursue more? Well, you have to be open to a man pursuing. Like, and I'm not even sure. Honestly, I want you to kind of give me more for that question because I don't know where you're going with it. I'm only guessing at this point, but you have to be open to receiving. Like, because some women like get bored or tired of a man pursuing or wanting him to just do things right now. They're like, I want it on my time, I want it now. And so they don't allow that man to pursue, they don't give him space to. So instead of letting him call to confirm the date, she's sending that text. Or instead of letting him guide her out of danger, she's like, don't touch me. I got this. I see this. So you got to be open and receiving to those things. If you're not open to receiving those things, you're not even going to be a good match for a man. You're going to be a good match for a male, because the male is going to be like, oh, okay, you one of those independent girls. Okay, big money. How to show up, interact with them until they earn it. How to show up, interact with them until they earn it. Okay. So the thing is, the funny thing about the feminine, I got hair in my thing. Okay. The funny thing about the feminine is that doing nothing. That's the thing. That's the actual answer. You show up and you don't violate the feminine principles. You don't beg him for time. You don't beg him for attention. You don't beg him for sex. And you just be open to receiving his provisions, open to receiving his guidance, open to receiving his protection, open to receiving his producing, open to receive his shielding. And then you just lean into it. You're not really doing anything against it, other than showing that you're open to it and you're ready to receive it, and you have interest in that man. That is the only thing. You're really not doing anything. I think we think we're supposed to be doing a lot, but we're not supposed to be doing a lot. The only time we're supposed to be doing a lot is when we come across a male. You come across a male, you're supposed to run away like your behind is on fire. You come across a man, you can literally lean into a man. All he needs to know is that you're open to receiving it and you have interest in him. And a man will continue to pursue you and earn you. But if they don't know, and if you have your walls up, if you are, so cold and you're not connected with self, and you push him away, then he's not going to know. So it's not a lot that a woman has to do when you're interacting with them for him to earn you, other than paying attention to make sure that he's a man. Like, is this man coming in? Like, I have the best thing that I do every single time. When I was dating, I looked around my life and I said, girl, is he adding any value to my life? Is my life getting any better? Is him in my life an addition or a subtraction? Is him being in my life, do I see my life in 5 years with this man? It's going to be so much better. It's going to get so much juicier. It's going to be so much divine union. Like, that's the thing you look at. Do you look, is he adding value to it? Someone was pursuing me for 2 months, spoke of marriage, but wouldn't offer me anything tangible. It fell off. And that happens. That happens when you're dating. Yeah, when you're dating, sometimes people are going to fall off. And it just wasn't meant to be. Will you save this live? This live is on YouTube right now. That's so true. He's not waiting for you. He's already doing it. Yeah, a man is already doing it. He is not waiting for you to arrive for him to actually start his life. Like, males will have it made. They will make you believe that he's waiting on this wonderful woman to come in his life. And once this wonderful woman comes in his life, then he's going to actually get a job. And then he's going to actually have resources. Then he's going to be successful. Then he's going to have integrity. Then he's going to have value. But that's not the way it works. A man is steady living life. He's pursuing his purpose and his vision for it. So he's already creating abundance and wealth and resources. He's already doing things. He's already has somebody he's protecting. Providers do what they do. They do what they come to do and what men are for. They protect. Either he might be protecting his mom. He might be protecting his sister. He's taking care of people. He's taking care of somebody right now. That's what providers do. Providers provide. They're taking care of somebody right now. And that's the only thing that scares women away, especially sometimes, we gotta be honest, sometimes that entanglement with the people that men are providing for, that takes some time for that influence to fall away. And women get kind of frustrated. It's like, why isn't he doing it for me right now? It takes some time. You have to get that influence. He has to willingly give it to you. He will. As long as those are healthy relationships now. We're not talking about the ones that are somewhat incestuous. And that's gonna be he's the son husband to his mother. We're not talking about those now. because we know those exist. Instagram, thank you for being here. I appreciate you all for seeing all the way to the end. We literally have like 11 seconds and it's going to end. You're going to click the link in my stories and this will take you over to the live stream on YouTube. That's what I sense. I kept dating others until he proposes. He sounds like he wants to provide, so that's good. I consider myself very feminine, but men seem to want me to chase him. It gives me anxiety. Sometimes I'm like, I'm appreciative of what else it is. You know what, y'all have to realize even the natural order exists, of course, it does. And we know what the natural order is. But we still have some men who've been conditioned out of being a provider and being in that place. Not only being a provider, but being conditioned out of the pursuit. Like they're so used to women. I said this thing in that other stream before. I don't know what stream it was now. I keep doing back-to-back streams. I don't know what stream it was. But I talked about now we have women chasing men with rings. And so they're used to women chasing them. And the only thing you have to do is stand in the feminine principle. There will be a man that's going to come along who's going to respect the natural order and he is going to pursue. That is your God. That is your God. How relevant is consistency in pursuit and shielding if something he doesn't pursue or shield, maybe due to stressor? The thing is, men still pursue regardless. They still pursue regardless of the stressor, regardless of if they are stressed out, they still pursue. Like stress is not stopping men from being a man. Like it may slow him down, or he may need more rest, or he may need some time or some space, but it doesn't slow him down from pursuing you. So don't allow men to say, "Well, I'm too stressed out, I'm too tired, I don't have time for you." Men find time for what they want to find time for. Oh, it's not there. But you want to see that you do want to see some form of him being consistent because he's still going to do and be a man. Like I don't care, and I've had times where my husband was working like 15-hour days. He still found time to call me or text me. He still found time to kind of spend time with me. So being busy, tired, stressed, none of those things stop a man from being a man. Now, we can have a serious conversation, just be honest that we don't like as women, we don't like when we're not getting to the level of consistency that we want. But he will still make time, okay? Because I get where you're coming from, because I've been there. When you're with a highly successful man, you're gonna have to. This is the reason why it's so important women have their own lives, because when you're with a successful man, he's gonna spend so much time building that career and creating and making that money that he may have to pull away to do that. And it may not be to the level that you want, but trust me, he is going to be consistent. When things get back to normal, he's going to make sure that he kind of makes up for those things. He's gonna make up for maybe him having to change the date you go out on dates or something. He's gonna make up for that. Like I think the thing is sometimes it can be very confusing for if he's being deliberately inconsistent and because he has things that are going on and he doesn't want us versus the other. And I think that's the difference. That's what women kind of like. I'm confused about that, and I get it because I've been there. But the higher quality a man is, he will try to make those things up because he understands that women require being consistent. He understands women look at that to see if he has interest. You want to see if he's consistently coming towards you. He's calling, he's texting, he's taking you out on dates. He's providing for you in the way that where the level of relationship you have. He's doing those things. So I get it. I absolutely understand. Like when you are married to a high quality producer, a man who has a lot of responsibility, sometimes it may seem as though he is not there and he doesn't have that time. It's about time. Even if he doesn't have the time, he's gonna make that time up with you. If you don't hear this, if he's not having this conversation, like, hey, I know I've been absent and I know I've been not around as much because I've been very busy at work. I want to make sure I take you here, or I want to make sure I do this for you. I want to spend some time with you. Like you should be hearing that a lot when you are with a high quality producer. And I think this comes to the issue with women. Women want a high quality producer, but you don't understand. Sometimes time is going to be an issue. There's only 24 hours in a day. He can only go out here and build for you and create that quality of life that you desire, and still make sure that he shows up in the way that you want him to do. Because every woman is different. Some women want a man to kind of speak to them, like, connect with them every single day. Some women don't want a man at least connect with them every 3 to 4 days. Some women don't mind if a man connect with them at least once a week. Finally call it live. Oh, welcome, Sporty. Hey, Goddess. What happens when he starts pursuing very heavy, wanting to claim you, haven't done enough work to prove to be to you? Okay, well, this is where the feminine slows things down, like slows things down. Where she's like, look, I'm very interested, but I really want to get to a place where I'm comfortable. So I just want to take my time. I want us to take our time. Like, so just slow things down. If a man is pursuing you, shouldn't he start providing or showing that he's a provider from the start? A man, you all know that there's levels to this. There's levels to this. A man is gonna provide. I would love to know what you mean as far as providing. Because when a man starts to date you and he's pursuing you, he should be picking up the tab. He should be paying for the dates. You shouldn't have to open up your wallet at all. That is the level of providing in the very beginning. Then, as you all are progressing in dating, then you're going to start to see him start picking up more for you and wanting to do more for you in that area, especially if you're talking about financial. But providing is actually more than just finances. He should be also providing by listening to you and being somewhat of that support for you. So you're going to see that increase as you all are getting closer. Is it okay if it's only once a week? What is your man doing if it's once a week? Like when I said some women don't mind once a week, it's because they're probably dating like a CEO. Like they're dating a really busy man. And that man is so busy, he's not out here dating. He's not out here meeting other women. He's literally just working. So it depends on what is this man doing. Like what is he doing his time? If this man has a regular old regular career, then he should not be he should be contacting you more than once a week. But I'm talking for like a woman who's like, she's married to a master of the universe. He has like multiple businesses. He has his hands in multiple pots. He's literally jet setting to one meeting to the next. If that man has that lifestyle, then maybe. But the thing is, you're not waiting on him to call you. You should be rotationally dating, especially if you're not married to him. Like, where's your other guys that you're dating, especially if you're dating for marriage? This page, I focus in on marriage because I know that's how you're really going to secure the bag is marriage. Solutions to problems. He's an entrepreneur and starting another business. Okay. It sounds like it is not enough. To me, it sounds like he's an entrepreneur. Where's the rest of the business? It sounds like he doesn't have enough on his plate to justify once a week. How do you fall back if you start pursuing him instead? Do you just cut your losses? Okay, if the guy is worth it, do you believe he's a male or a man? If he's a man, he is probably going to be more interested with the natural order anyway. So I would just fall back and allow him to reach out to me and only respond when he's reaching out to me so you can get back into the natural order. If he's a male, he's probably going to be like, why aren't you calling me? Why aren't you texting me? What happened? Then you already know what you need to do. You need to cut your losses and start over. Y'all, there's nothing wrong with starting over when the man is not your man. Some of you are new, but I don't claim a man unless he's my husband. If he's not my husband, he's not my man. So as the feminine, especially if you're dating for marriage, you should be dating other men. There should be other men that you are getting to know. And so when he's busy, you really don't even notice because you're out on a date with another guy. Do you want to know why rotational dating works? Why so many men have put a ring on a woman's finger because of rotational dating and because they could not even imagine living without her? Because of the fact men are jealous, they're territorial, they don't like to share. Anytime I hear a man tell me he's willing to share a woman, I already know what it is. He is not into that woman. He doesn't care. Because a man who is into you, he's not going to want to share. Men are super jealous. They like to be the only man, and they're going to lock in with that woman if they cannot feel. They can't even imagine not living without her. Like they can't even imagine. So they're going to go ahead and propose and marry that woman. So that's the reason why if you want to get married, you should not be dating one man at a time. You should be dating multiple men because men can sense that you're dating other men. You know how they can sense it? Because you're so busy living your life and then you're dating other men that they can sense that you're taking your time. Like men don't want you to take their time. Males don't want you to take your time. That's the reason why I always tell y'all slow down. Like take your time. Any decision you need to make, I want you to really take your time. Even if you don't know, kind of like, well, look, give me a moment. I really need a moment to think about this. Can I get back with you maybe in a day or so? I want you to get used to saying it and taking your time and slowing things down. Why? Because the more you slow things down, the more that you can determine if it's a male or a man. The more that you be able to determine that. He wants my time and attention, which interferes with me dating others, spending time around others, and feels he's done enough. How to communicate? You need more displays of his care and ability to provide. Tell him that because you don't want to tell him that you want him to do more because that's still somewhat asking for that time and attention for him to do, like step up to the plate, basically. There's certain things we don't have to ask as a feminine principle. But what you want to do is just because he wants more of it doesn't mean you have to give it to him. Just because he wants more of it doesn't mean you have to give it to him. You can still continue to date other people. Men can sense when they're not getting all your attention and time. And this way, you don't have to constantly tell him, hey, you have to do this in order to earn me. Like, what kind of prize? When you go and play any game, is the instructions to win the game on the game? No. You know what you have to do to win a game? Because the instructions aren't right there, you have to go and search on the internet and figure out how to win the game, how to beat the game. So you don't want to give him those type of instructions to earn you anyway. You want him to step up to the plate. So continue to date other men and trust me, he will know. Just because he wants it doesn't mean you have to give it to him. And I suggest you don't give it to him. What do you suggest we meet? Don't want to be online or social media in 24, church, social functions, etc. What do you mean? Meet men? Because men are everywhere. Like you can meet a man at a gas station. You can meet a man at a party. You can meet a man anywhere. So what are we talking about? Like add a little bit more to it. So I can kind of make sure I'm going answering the question. Because you can meet a man anywhere. Men are all around you. Men are doing the same things you're doing every single day. Men are going to the grocery store. Men are going to the gas station. Men are going to the mall. Men are going out to eat. Men are going to the movies. Men are going to play tennis. Men are going to play golf. Men are going, they're everywhere that you are. I want to know one space that you've been wearing a man at. I think I can only think of one place that men may not be at, and that's in like a woman's only gym. But men are everywhere that you are. I've had a man know I'm dating others, and I always talk about having a baby. Now I realize this was his way of locking me down without commitment. Watch out, ladies. Absolutely. Like, that's when you slow down. Really take your time with these things so that you can make sure that you're not locked into a male. Because a lot of women have come upon a male, they have not come upon a man. But you will know a man by what he's currently doing, not what he's currently saying. Males have a great talk. They know how to talk. They know how to speak our language to romance. But since they don't have anything to offer, that is what they have become good at. They will approach me and take my number on social media and won't call. You lose some. Like, I'm not saying that everyone is going to be a home run. You just got to keep going, and y'all, it's a numbers game. You keep dating, you keep going after it, and eventually you will come across your man, your person, your guy. Should we tell them we are dating others? I feel like I don't really want to talk to them about who else I'm dating, and you shouldn't. I'm not going to go around here and tell them I'm dating others, because you don't have to. Men assume that women are dating other men anyway. Like, most people are dating someone else. If that's the assumption, and since that's the assumption, you don't really have to tell them I'm dating others. If you tell them, hey, right now I am dating for marriage, that is the indicator that you're dating others without saying I'm dating others. I don't think it's a good idea to say, hey, I'm dating Tom. What do you think about that? So you don't have to tell them you're dating other people. It's actually an assumption that you're dating other people. Men think that all women are dating multiple men anyway. So you don't have to say it. Just be very firm in that you are dating for your husband to find you, and you're dating for marriage. You're saving yourself for marriage. That's all you need to continue to uh, articulate to him and let him know. You don't have to tell him anything else. You don't have to tell him I'm dating other men. Okay, I think I missed something. I didn't see this. If a rotation dating and not noticing them missing, how do we hold them accountable for being consistent and showing up consistent? He calls, takes every couple of days. Should that be okay? You're never gonna don't ever get in a place of trying to hold a man accountable unless he's your man. If he's not your man, you're not holding anybody accountable. A man is in pursuit of you, he will hold himself accountable. He will make sure that he calls you. He will make sure he keeps that connection alive. A lot of us don't realize we're actually absolutely doing really nothing but being ourselves, and we're bringing in these masculine providers. So you don't worry about holding him accountable. You know how you're gonna hold him accountable? By giving your time more to the men that are showing up. You're gonna go out on more dates with the men who are actually calling you, texting you, connecting with you, trying to get to know you. That's how you're gonna hold a man accountable. But that's nothing that you communicate. Okay, I don't see any other questions. I don't see any other questions. So I'm gonna give you all some time because we've already been an hour and 18 minutes. I try to keep these at an hour because these videos can get super long. And I know some of y'all like, I don't care, I like the long videos, but sometimes the algorithm isn't nice to those long videos. But men pursue women and women choose. Don't allow a male to take away your choice. Don't allow a male to take away your choice, because males are getting smart. They understand that if I can get this woman to sleep with me very quickly, I can get her in an entanglement. I can get her emotions all tangled up with mine. And then she will be blind to my faults and my flaws. So that's the reason why men are trying to get in bed with you very quickly. They want to jump your bones. Because as soon as they can jump your bones, the easier it is for your hormones to turn off your brain, so you're not able to think, you're not able to see the red flags. So don't let a male trick you. Don't allow a male to put a baby in you, and he hasn't become a man yet. He hasn't earned that position, that title of man. Men pursue, women choose. That is the natural order of things. That is what's going to make you, that's going to give you that juicy, feminine, and masculine dynamic that women desire. Even if you don't totally believe or you haven't bought into feminine energy, that is the natural order. It's being taught to you, whether even if you haven't bought in or not. Yes, thank you. You have a wonderful holiday. Yes, thank you all. Thank you. And hopefully you all have a happy, Merry Christmas. I'm definitely going to see you before the new year, but I probably will not see you before Christmas or on Christmas. So happy Christmas, Merry Christmas. Hopefully from my family to yours. Thank you. I loved all this. You're welcome. I'm so happy for that. Also, I dropped down the Co-Creator Mastermind. If you want to be in that mastermind with me, and I'm going to teach you how to tap into the abundance, the feminine energy, to create your own reality. Anything that you can dream, you should be living it. That is what we're going to focus in. I love intimate spaces. So as soon as the spaces are filled, I'm going to close the enrollment on the Co-Creator Mastermind. So the link is in the chat, and it's also going to be in the description box at the end of this video. So thank you all for being here to the end. I appreciate all of my pedestal wives and all of my inner circle. Thank you for your support. And I'll see you all on the next one. You all have a wonderful, wonderful day. Come back tomorrow. We're going to have so much fun tomorrow. Like, it's going to be chef's kiss. Come back tomorrow. And I'll see you all on the next one. You all have a good day.